who is in the mood for making beef jerky? Yes, that's right, you heard it, beef jerky pulled off the Kamado Kettle grill. Come along with us guys and I'll show you step by step how to achieve some flavour smacking fantastic beef jerky. Delicious. Right, we're going to start with the top round. It's a cut I've got from the butchers again in Morrison's, and it's quite a lean cut, but it does have a fat cap on it that we need to remove, and there's a couple of chunks of fat in there that again we're going to cut round and hopefully remove, because you want the leanest cut possible. Fat, it keeps the moisture in and it also can spoil in the smoking process. So we are going to take off that fat cap. Normally fat means flavour, but in this one it means it's going to actually spoil. Now I have had the meat in the freezer for about an hour and a half just to firm up. That's going to make it easier for slicing. I'll just get them cutting this fat off and then we'll get to the slicing. Right, we've removed majority of the fat. A little bit ain't going to harm, but I don't want too much in there. It's nice and cold. Now I'm going to take my super slicer, a nice long sharp knife. I'm going to go with the grain. We're not going to go against the grain, we're actually going to go with the grain to make the jerky. And you want the slices as thin as you can get, somewhere from sort of 3 to 5 mil. I'll bring you in for a close-up in a minute. We'll take a couple of good slices here. And there you'll see, nice and thin, and nice and lean. And like I say, we're going with that grain, with that knife, and we're going to get some nice beautiful slices. I can't wait to get this all sliced up. I'll get to slicing up. Once you're all up, I'll see you in the next stage. Got all that beautiful beef sliced up. Any of the bits that had too much fat on it, the dogs have enjoyed. You can see beautiful slices. Let's get ready for the marination. So, bowl. I'll take our meat into the bowl. Tidy up in a minute. Pop our chopping board over there. So, hugging a mug, as it says on the cup, an entire bottle of Worcestershire sauce. I'll get that over all the meat. I know I keep saying it, but smell-o-vision needs to be invented. I'm going to bring the heat with a teaspoon of chili flakes and a teaspoon of chipotle chilies. That barbecue note with a teaspoon of paprika. A teaspoon of garlic granules. Really want to punch with flavour. And last but not least, a teaspoon of celery salt. And that's for them natural nitrates that are in the celery salt, the high in nitrates. And that'll just help as a preservative later on in the process. So let's get in for a rub. Make sure every piece of meat is coated in that marinade. Right, you can put this straight in the fridge, leave it for hours to 48 hours to really get that smack of flavour into that meat. But because I like my gizmos, my gadgets, and my new toys. I'm going to pop it in a vacuum sealed bag, and I'm going to really get them flavours to pull into that meat. So take all your meat and get it down in that bag. This is where you make a mess of your butcher's block. I'm going to get that liquid straight over the top. And trusty tea towel time. I've just dropped it. We're going to open up our vacuum sealer. Make sure that's nice and clean. Pop it in. Make sure it's clipped. Put it on moisture mode. Don't get that part wrong. And away we go. It's so exciting. She's sealed. All them juices around that meat. We're going to pop that package into the fridge. We'll see you guys in 24 hours. It's been 48 hours. So in the last video you'll have heard me say that I was going to do this for 24 or 48 hours. I can't wait to get these smoked. That marination has done its job. So we're going to open up the package and we're going to have to try and get as much of that moisture out of the beef as we can. So do it any way you can. I'm going to take plenty of paper towel. I have brought a bucket just in case to catch any of them juices, just to make it easier for me to decant. The smell is absolutely divine. Let's bring these over here so you can see that marination has completely soaked into the meat, and it smells good enough to eat now. But we're going to get them out, transfer all your meat onto the paper, and then I'm going to come back across on the top, pat them dry. I'll see you guys once I've done this. So once you've doubled up, pat them, dab them, do anything you can to get all the excess moisture off, because it's going to help in the drying process. But we're going to smoke these in our Kamado Kettle Joe. We're going to build a small fire in the bottom and smoke them nice and slow, because we're not cooking them, we're drying them out, and we can do it in our own little smoker at home. No need for a dehydration oven, and it's going to add in bags of smoky flavour. Come across while I set up the barbecue. Right, it's in hot, fierce and fast mode. So the grill grates at the top of our divide and conquer system. We don't want that for our beef jerky. So let's pop out the grill grates. Before we put the slow roller on, there's some charcoal in there. You can always just give it a quick scrape around with your poker. We want to build a nice small fire. We don't want lots of charcoal in here. We are just having a nice small fire. We put just one tumbleweed in today, just to get that smoke rolling. And I'm going to put a couple of pieces of apple wood just away from the fire, so as them charcoals catch, it'll just start to roll the smoke around the beef jerky. And this is the bit that really does make this barbecue: the slow roller attachment and its heat deflector plate. So we'll pop that heat deflector plate in. We've got to adjust the lid because obviously that's not going to reach now. Undo the nut at the back, pull the pin, lift, sit into position, pop the pin back in and tighten up that nut. We are now in low and slow smoking temps. Pop in our dripping pan and pop in our heat deflector grill grates. Let's start to position out the now dried up beef jerky. I'll get this laid out on the grill. Leave plenty of room around them to get the air passing over it. Just managed to get all that jerky on them grill grates. It's a real big grill on there. But as I said earlier, we're smoking them, but we're drying them, we're not cooking them, so we want some really low temps. So we're going to restrict that airflow to keep that fire down, and I'm going to try and not get above 70 degrees Celsius. I'm going to set the top vent for about, I would say, quarter of the way to the first notch, and I'm going to shut the bottom vent down to about a finger's width, just to get some of that airflow, because we want that convection of warm air passing over it to dry it out. I'll monitor it on the dome temp, but just as a secondary precaution, I'm going to take my meter probe, I'm going to shove it into that spud, and I'm going to pop that in the middle of the grill. I'm going to use that to monitor my pit temp remotely, because like I said, I don't want to get this fire to run away with me. I want it to roll that smoke and dry that meat. If I need to make any alterations to the vents, I'll bring you back, but at the minute I'll dial them in at that. So I've just set my meter probe app up just to monitor that temp. We're running at 33 degrees at the minute, and we're going to slowly bring that pit temp up, and hopefully we're going to roll it in that smoke for between 3 to 5 hours, hopefully on the earlier time, but it's dependent on how dry you want the beef jerky. We'll come back at 3 hours, and if not, we'll take it through to 5, or just as long as you want really. You could take it as dry as you want, but we're going to go 3 to 5 hours. See you guys then. Beef jerky time. 3 hours in the pit, and I think that'll do for me. I like a little bit of chew. I don't want it completely dry and snappable, so this is the perfect perfect time for me to pull it. But if you guys want to take it, if you want to dry it out, just take a little bit longer. Take it to your liking. That's a good thing. You can tailor your flavours, you can tailor your smoke, you can tailor the sort of texture of your jerky. Play around with it, guys. This one I'm calling done. And the pups are going mad. Dave and Buster, my two biggest fans. I'm going to pull off the jerky. Check out that jerky, a little bit of ply, pulls nice, and what a flavour smack. That is a complete and utter punch. Oh, here comes my biggest fan. Shall we do a taste test? I think we should do. The channel's biggest fans, Dave and Buster, love the jerky. This is some fantastic flavour bomb beef jerky. That 48 hours in that marination, it made the difference. But again, tailor it to your liking, play with the flavours, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you've done. Do you want me to do pork jerky? Again, leave a comment down below. I hope you enjoyed the cook. If you have, don't forget that thumbs up, that subscribe button, the comments. It all helps with the channel to grow. And also, check out this video over here. Trust me, you won't regret it. There's some great content coming out.